Hey, it's Rhoda Brown, two-time world champion barbecue pitmaster, here showing you a little treat today, barbecue beef ribs. This is the back part of the ribeye. This piece of meat is nice. It's got 3 bones in it, so it's not gonna feed a family, but I guess if you got a 2-person family, it'll be nice. Just a little bit of trimming to do on this piece of meat. It looks awesome, but what we're gonna do is trim a little piece of fat off here. I'll turn it where you can see it. It just flakes off, no need to trim. We're just gonna get to seasoning it. We're gonna start with some black pepper. We're going pretty heavy with the pepper on this. We want it to have that really, really peppery bite at the finish. Then we're gonna hit it with some kosher salt to pull some of the moisture out. Not gonna go quite as heavy with the salt. Pat it in there good. And again, it's gonna pull that moisture out of this meat. Pull it up to the top and keep it there. Now for the best part. Rhoda Brown's Hog Wash Barbecue Rub. This rub has a good bit of sugar in it and lots of other seasonings, and it's gonna really help make a nice bark on this rib. You don't really look for bark on a rib. Usually it's on a brisket or a pork butt. We're gonna let it sit for about an hour. Let it turn into a paste, let it pull that moisture up, and then those seasonings will start infusing into the tissue of this meat. We've got our ribs ready to put in the smoker. They've been sitting about an hour. See how this rub has turned into a nice tacky paste? That's what you're looking for. It draws that moisture from the inside tissues, pulls it on up to the top. It's gonna turn into an awesome crust. It's gonna be a nice little crust of sugar, salt, pepper, and all these other spices on top of it. Most ribs available in your grocery store are pork ribs. That's what majority of us cook. These are beef ribs. You treat them the same way. It's just a different cut of meat. We're gonna cook these for about 3 hours at 250, check them, and move on from there. And I set them in bone down. That's gonna allow the little bit of fat on top to render down into that meat. We've got our ribs out of the smoker. What we're looking for with these ribs is for a nice dark color, a good crust on the top of them. Look how the meat is pulled back from these bones a bit, and how the bones have blanched a bit. They look kind of white. That shows that we've rendered all the marrow out. We've gotten every bit of moisture out of that bone and pulled it into the meat. We're gonna let them rest for a few minutes to give it a chance to reabsorb some of the juices that have been pulled to the top. Now that it's cooling, that's gonna come back down into the tissues and be juicy all the way through. And we're just gonna come right here between the bones and slice it down all the way through. Look at this nice pink smoke ring all the way around. You like seeing that when you cook ribs. You see how nice and juicy it is with just a pinch, but the consistency is still good. It's not turned to mush. And the bark on top is beautiful. It just pulled away where I bit, cooked excellently. You're not looking for it to fall off the bone, but to pull off with your bite. This is the sign of a perfectly cooked rib, folks. Son, that's good meat. Do yourself a favor. Get some Hog Wash Rub today. A great all-purpose championship quality seasoning. It dresses up anything that walks, flies, and swims.